All right, for this section, it's going to be a little bit tricky because we lack the space entirely to fit this current layout, which is a 5-column layout, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in here. So we have to rethink about how we're going to present this with such little space. So whenever it does certainly help as a UI designer to understand some CSS, which is part of front-end development, which is the process of a designer or a front-end developer taking your design and making it a reality in the browser. And so with the CSS grid and also Flexbox, we're able to really create almost anything you want, any iteration of a layout. So what we could do is we could remove all of these. We could hide those for mobile only. And then what we can do is we can take each of these names and take these checkboxes and put them underneath it. And then next to the checkbox, we'll have interstitial, maybe for this text box right to the right of it, it'll say retargeting. And so we'll just put all those checkboxes underneath each one and just list them out that way. Probably confusing, in terms of me explaining it, but let's just try to get this on here to see how it works. So the first thing I'll do is take this right here, and we'll use this as kind of like a background container. All right, and then we'll take this element here, and we're going to put it right here. Control-Shift-4, make sure we get it lined up. All right, so that's our first one. Then we'll take this checkbox right here, and we'll probably stand to scale this down just a bit. All right, and then we'll take this type right here, and it'll say interstitial, and let's see what that size is. It's currently 16. Let's, for a second, just duplicate this and see what this looks like in terms of the styling. We might actually be able to make this larger, these type elements. So we could take this up to, let's get to our style up here, paragraph. That is right there. It's just a little bit larger. All right. I still sort of, let's see, let's put retargeting here. All right. And then what we can also do is replicate those. And down here we would have like email and shout out. And then what we would do is just take all these and duplicate them, and then just simply replicate the rest of these. Now, one thing that we do have to specify is probably if one of them doesn't have one of these elements. So ad blocks, for instance, that doesn't have retargeting. So what do we do? Well, we could put a different icon in its place. Now, one thing you want to do, since these are all reusable elements, you would want to make these components, and you could use a component variant to toggle off between valid and invalid as an option. So I just wanted to show you, that's the reason you use these components, because if you wanted to change something about the font, you would just hit here and have to select all these manually and change them. So what I'll do is I'll show you the correct way to go about this. I just wanted to see what this all looks like before making adjustments. I may even make another adjustment of bringing this in and then moving all these inside of here because there's extra white space. I think that will help. So let's make that change first. So I'm going to delete these. We'll delete these as well, and we're going to do this the right way. So now we will use, we'll create a component, and for this component we will also create, let's see here, a auto layout. Let's get this organized here in a center, and we will create a variant out of it. So the first variant, we can move this offside here, is just going to be called, let's see, we'll say check mark. Or let's create this, let's do this instead. Let's just leave that at default. We'll create a new property called has option, and then we'll make these true, just Boolean values. So true, this one will be false, and now we have to get an X, or yeah, right here, this would work. So for this, let's just drag this one in, this big monster right here. We want these to be the same size. Now before I do that, I want to get the color right. These would be kind of red. Right there I think is good. So now I'm going to, let's right click and ungroup that. I can drag this in here. In this one we will hide that, or rather just delete it. There we go. And we want to make sure this is the correct size. That's 25 by 25. Although that didn't have padding on it. Let me see if we can do something here. We can right click and ungroup that. This is now, let's just bump this up to 23. All right, and then we'll take this one to 23 as well. So 23. All right, now they're the exact same size. All right, so has option is false. Now we come back to our assets and we can exit that. You know what? Let's get in good habits of naming our layers here. So for this component, this is going to be add type options. All right, add type. We'll drag that here. And then now we can change this to false or true. All right, so let's replicate this one. We'll say retargeting here. Real quickly, I'm going to Control-Shift-4. We're going to drag this in, and we'll give ourselves some white space here. So we'll move this in here. Again, you could create a frame out of this whole thing, and then you can get your alignment correctly in the white space inside of it. Okay, that looks actually good right there. This one will say email, and the other one says shout out. All right, so let's get this lined up exactly how we want it to. So we have CryptoSpace there. This one will be ad blocks. This one is Mooners. Forex Crypt. Oh, I thought there was another one for me to duplicate, or there wasn't another one rather. So let's duplicate that one, get equal white space, bring this down. Okay, and then finally we'll have our junction space, and then we can go through and see which ones don't have anything. So this one lacks retargeting, so we change this to false. This one lacks email and shout out, so we put those to false. This one lacks simply shout out, so we'll put that to false. And then junction space only has one of them, which is interstitial, so we'll change that to false. All right, so I know that was kind of hectic. So that's one way we could present the data. You might think about maybe there's another way we could do it, but for now, that's what I'm thinking. You could also further make this a little bit more obvious that they don't have it by perhaps dropping down the opacity through the pass-through. So if we change this to 60%, it kind of dims them out quite a bit more, maybe even 45. And it kind of makes the ones they do have stand out more so. So I think that's fine right there. And then now we'll just finish this up. We are going to replicate that. Okay, and now we just have to move these in individually. So let's ungroup. We will ungroup that unless we can scale these properly. No, they're all getting squished. So let's just ungroup those. Looks like that wasn't aligned properly. And then we have under layers, we're gonna find the ones that we're not seeing right here. There we go. And then we'll also select this one, move it over. Control-Shift-4. We can extend these out. Maybe not all the way here. All right. And then we already have an iteration of that. So let's just copy these two elements. Paste it over here. Make sure it's going inside of our frame. There we go. Also, we can get this. Scale it down. Make sure this is to the back, so send that to back. All right, and then finally, we're going to have a different iteration of this footer, which we can just do right now, just so we can knock this out. So let's pull things down here a bit so we have some more room. And clearly we don't have the space to put all of this. So what we'll do is maybe instead of duplicating it, we'll just kind of start refactoring this from scratch. So what I'll do is let's just duplicate this out. We'll have one next to it, and we'll get out a rectangle, of course using this same primary color 13. So we'll change that. That's not it. That's not it either. I think it's this one. There we go, primary color 13. We can copy this and we'll paste this in here. So CryptoFix, we can scale this down. Control-Shift-4, get that lined up. And then what we can do is just restructure how these are presented. So we have our social. Oops, I did something bad there. There we go. We're gonna have social, and then underneath it in two columns, we will have the 4 different links right here. So if I copy that, we bring this over here, then what we can do is we'll copy this and we'll duplicate this and put this into 2 columns instead. Maybe bring this down a little bit closer. All right, and then what we can do is the same thing. So now we can take this part, maybe do add types here, and then simply copy this information, specify it here, and then this information and specify it there as well. And then finally, we have a reach us section. Let's duplicate that. So that will be reach us. We have a contact form. All right, and then we get rid of this one, and we can just copy this information right here, those 4 elements. Paste those, and we'll put them right here. All right, that's looking pretty solid to me. So we'll push this up, and then we can create a component out of that. And this will be our footer mobile, or mobile footer rather. So let's just copy that, remove it, and go back to our components. We have our tablet and desktop footer right there. So now we can change this to mobile, or let's see, footer for mobile, and then put this right here. The top tablet navigation we don't have in here right now, so if we go to assets and we type in nav, we'll see what we have. This is tablet. Okay. We also don't have our other one, which is the mobile nav, so let's work on that really quickly. All right, so we'll take assets, and let's see if we go back to our mobile design. We did create a component out of this, and what is it called? Oh wait, that's called tablet navigation. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry, we never created a component out of this one. So let's do that. Let's create the component, and this will be mobile, top mobile navigation. Copy that, go to our components, paste that in. We're going to have to take this back out actually, because we're going to need to prototype it. So for now, let's actually just remove that. Let's go back to our mobile design, and we're just going to leave this one here. This is the original. So what we can do instead is just go back to our components. Now here's 4. This is the tablet. Why do we have a tablet, and top? Trying to think of why we're not finding this. If we go back to my mobile, what is this called? Top mobile navigation. Let's go back. We can just copy it and paste it right here. So this is top mobile navigation right here. All right, and that's good right there. So now our footer mobile. So let's go back to our footer here, our mobile navigation, and we will paste this in right down here and give it some white space. All right, so now we'll just bring this up and end it right there. All right, so I know that was quite lengthy. Let us delete that original. And so now let's move this off to the side here, and this one. Now if we click play, we'll see what this looks like in the prototype play mode. All right, here we go. So nothing's interactive, of course. We haven't got to that step just yet, but here it is. Oh no, it's not showing our footer, and I can tell you why, because the footer is not inside of our artboard. There we go. There it is. Great, awesome stuff. So in the next lesson, we're going to go ahead and work on taking the remaining designs that we have here and making them work as well for mobile.